Title: They came to burn the church. What happened next shook the entire village. True story. 8-minute YouTube script. Myanmar. In the hills of Chin State, Myanmar, there is a small Christian village called Thantlang. It is quiet, isolated, and surrounded by dense forests and military checkpoints. For decades, the people there lived simple lives, farming, worshiping, raising families, and surviving under pressure. But pressure eventually turns into persecution. Myanmar had descended into chaos. Armed militias, extremist factions, and military units were moving through villages, enforcing fear. Christians were labeled as outsiders. Churches were seen as threats. Faith itself became a target. In Thantlang, the church stood at the center of the village, not large, not impressive, but unmovable. Every Sunday, families gathered. They prayed quietly, knowing eyes were watching. Then, one Sunday morning, everything changed. As the church service began, word spread fast. Armed men were approaching. These were not rumors. These were known attackers, men who had already burned villages nearby, killed pastors, and destroyed churches. Their objective was clear: burn the church, kill the believers, send a message. Inside the church, panic spread. Mothers held their children tighter. Men whispered urgently. Some suggested escaping through the back. Others froze. The pastor stood at the front. He did not shout. He did not panic. He said one sentence: "We will not run. We will call on the name of Jesus." No speeches. No theatrics. Just resolve. They began to pray. Outside, the armed men reached the village edge, guns loaded, torches ready. They were confident. They had done this before. As they approached the church, something unexpected happened. They stopped. Not because of resistance, not because of police, but because they could not move forward. Later, one of the attackers would testify that it felt like an invisible wall stood in front of the building. The closer they stepped, the heavier their bodies became. Fear replaced aggression. Inside the church, the prayers intensified. They were not praying for escape. They were praying for Jesus to intervene. Then, suddenly, one of the armed men collapsed. Not shot, not attacked. He dropped to his knees, shaking violently. The others panicked. Some raised their guns toward the church, but their hands would not steady. Their weapons felt unbearably heavy. One man shouted, "There is fire around the building." But there was no fire. Villagers later said the church appeared surrounded by light, brighter than the sun, yet not blinding. Calm, but powerful. The attackers fled. They ran into the forest, abandoning their weapons. No one in the church,